Hello and welcome. Today we are at Bollywood in Dubai and we're going to take a full tour around the Bollywood park that is under the Dubai Parks and Resorts banner. So this is included with a lot of the other ones like Motion Gate, Legoland and the Legoland Water Park. That is why I'm filming this. Now I have filmed this at night, but it is completely different during the day. Now one of the biggest differences during the day, there is nobody here. I am basically the only person here. I managed to do a full loop basically all in one take. I get in, I get out, and I just see a member of staff. I was here for no more than 25 minutes. This video is 18 and a bit. The only problem I had was because I had it set to a 4K mode on the camera, it started to overheat, so I had to give it a couple of minutes to cool down before I carried on. So the bit that we're seeing now, you don't see again on the way back, because that's why I'm panning it from left to right. Now we do go up round, we'll have a look at all the different sections, because the plan was I was going to do this zone by zone, but because it was just so quiet, I thought I'd just keep walking and see what's available. So in the comments below, let me know what you think. Would you prefer coming here at the day or by night? You know, if you have seen this lit up at night, it is completely different. Everything is flashing, everything is sort of, it's just madness at night compared to the day. In the daytime it looks really, really calm, really, really nice and vibrant and relaxing, and then it's completely different at night. It's just full of energy, and everybody does come here later on in the evening because this park opens up last and it shuts last. So I think I was here at about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and yeah, you might spot one or two people sort of wandering around, but it is a very, very bizarre and peculiar experience being basically the only person here. If you wanted a bit more of a detailed look at the rides and things and sort of the queue lines internally of some of the sections, they are available within the Dubai Parks and Resorts playlist, and I have split this into the evening bits, and I've done it in like 3 parts just because I do go down the queue lines and everything like that, and then we have a look at what we can internally. But that is the only thing with Bollywood. There's not that much to look at apart from the fascia, with regards to all of this side of things, because some of them are shops, some of them are just either empty units, and then we've got a big restaurant to the left hand side. They are in the process, which I think now is open from the time of this being uploaded. The massive roller coaster now, wooden roller coaster that they've opened up. There is another roller coaster that we'll have a look at the left hand side, which is like a taxi thing. And then towards the end of the video, we'll have a look at all the new additions with the big sort of Ferris wheel and everything like that. But a lot of them are basically all the same type of motion simulator rides in this area, and they have started to add completely different rides in a different section, which is new, I do believe, for the 2022 season. I could be wrong with that, so correct me if I am wrong, but they've added in a big swing, which I think opened up for 2022. That's off the top of it just there. And then they have added in some other rides as well, which I do believe were rides that were supposed to be added to the Dubai Six Flags that fell through. So I have said this in a couple of other videos, that if you were walking around the Legoland Water Park, and that is available in the Legoland Dubai playlist, as you go up to some of the water park tops to get onto the slides, if you look literally behind where those slides are, there are loads and loads of track and sort of obviously the pillar supports where they've had all the track and everything in storage ready to expand and everything else like that. So it will be interesting to see what the other rides that are waiting to come in and when they'll come in and what they'll be like, because there does look like there is a lot of track available still to come in. What section that's going to come in, I don't know, and more than likely will come into the motion gate, I would imagine, because that is where mainly all the roller coasters and everything are. But I could be completely wrong, and Legoland might just throw something in out the spanner and come up with a completely different type of Ninjago section with an amazing roller coaster. But I think with the sort of the size of the track that's available, I can't see it going into the Legoland. So talking of track, the left hand side you have the steel coaster, which is I think based on one of their taxi films. Directly in front, that is their wooden roller coaster. So we will have a quick and little look at both of these, and then we just carry on going round. So it's a like I said, a quiet one. There are just members of staff looking at you, bored, I would imagine, because there's just nothing for them to do. And like I said, it is extremely bizarre feeling. If you're here with a group of people, you'll be laughing because you just go on absolutely everything, walk around, enjoy the sun, sit on the grass, soak it all in, and then just move on to the next bit. But this is sort of perfect, because if you were to say, for example, be at the Legoland Water Park and you had a multi-hop park pass, as the as it started to get a little bit hot, or you just didn't want to be out in the water at this time, you could literally just come straight to here, because if you spot behind the massive Ferris wheel later on, that is actually where the water park is located. So it's only a couple of minute walk to the entrance of here. You can do an hour or two over lunch, and then you can go back in for the rest of the day at the water park if you wanted to. So how you can do the different bits and pieces to split the days up works really, really well with regards to all four of these parks being so close together. But as coming here for the day, depending on the day that you come, you wouldn't need that much time to get around. But then obviously, if you're coming in peak season, this would be absolutely rammed, I would imagine, because I did come on a different evening just to try and check something out, and there was quite a lot of people walking around. So bearing in mind the theme of this and everything else, and just sort of who's interested in all the Bollywood type of things, depending on where their national summer holidays are and half terms and everything, and including the people from locally in Dubai, it would probably get very, very busy very, very quickly. And that would be the same thing for the Legoland water parks, the Legoland itself, and obviously the big one, which is Motion Gate. So if you have been here this year, or I would say last year, but obviously COVID probably didn't let that happen. So if you come in the 2022 season, from what you're watching now to when you've been, how does that compare? So please let people know, because obviously you have to take some of these videos with a pinch of salt with regards to just how nice and calming and chilled it is, because obviously there's loads and loads and loads of people here. It might be a completely different type of atmosphere, but just walking around and just soaking it all in. And I just sort of sat down for a little bit in the shade and just, well, basically on that bench, and just soaked all the different bits and pieces in, and was sort of forgetting where I was, because it does not feel like you are at a main theme park and a big resort. It's just odd, 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 odd. But positives: you get on anything that you want to get on. You can get to any of the eateries that are open with absolutely no queue whatsoever, and there's no queue to the loo either. So that's three big advantages of nobody being here, and now all of those are available in each land. So if you were to look at the map, for example, I would split it up into four. So we've done the first little sort of curve where we came in. I would class that as one sort of area, because you come to the water fountains, you can come back down again. At that water fountain, we turn left. That is a different area to where we get to sort of the roller coasters. Then from the roller coasters and doing sort of this bit, these are all different types of rides. So we've got sort of a simulator ride, then we've got a big swing, twisting swing. That's the biggest in the world currently as of May 2022 when I'm doing this voiceover. And then we've got a really good shooter ride a little bit further up, excuse me, which I did do once or twice, and it's one of the better ones I've done with regards to how everything just works. Like the targets work, everything. It's all good. And then as it loops back round, we then go into another completely different theming, which I do believe they have like a massive theatre, which we will have a look at and sort of have a sneak in on the door. That big coaster is from a completely different theme park. I know that was a lie. That big top of that theme park's probably the top of the wooden roller coaster from sort of the other horseshoe. This is the shooter. Then there are a couple of other little rides sort of hidden within this section. Like I said, we'll then go to where the theatre bit is, and then from there we'll go to where all the new section is, with different sort of adventure type rides and amusement rides. That's the key word. And then you have a huge wheel. Now the Ferris wheel itself is it's a nice ride, because you get to see so much of the resort, because you see all of this. You can see to the left hand side where the water park is. I think that is potentially why, even though this theme park opens up at say 12 noon, that massive the massive Ferris wheel doesn't open up until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So some of the stuff doesn't actually open until later on, which again is a little bit of a weird one, but it is what it is. Maybe as it gets busier and busier, it will open up more, or they physically don't allow people to go on that because you can see into the water park during the day. So they might have just done it for privacy, because the water park will close at 5, and then the Ferris wheel they can then get going, and they get the really nice view of the water park. And then obviously you can see all of what we're looking at now from above, and the park that's further on, which I do believe is Motion Gate. So you can see all of that and everything that they got on offer as it comes up and round. So that was a really nice thing for me to see. Now I managed to see it at night, but I never managed to get on it during the day, only because of the time that the actual ride opened up, because at 5 o'clock in the evening I was either in one of the other parks or I was at the expo, so I never managed to sort of come in and do it, because I was hoping to do it when I did this now. And when I spoke to the chap, he said no, it doesn't open up till 5 o'clock. So again, it is what it is. So we've got about 8 minutes left, and you can just see how nice again the theming is, how it's suddenly changed again with all this water and everything, as we're then going to be coming round to where what I do believe is their massive theatre here. They have shows on up by the entrance to try and entertain people and drag people into that area, but I didn't see the timing. I do believe I didn't see it when I filmed it this point, but when I was there a little bit later on, they did have the shows running, and they were running like every few hours, so it's similar to the one that they've got in the Motion Gate, and that is between Lionsgate and the DreamWorks section. There is like another big area just there in that land where they put on a load of shows where they're sort of stuck in time shows, I do believe. So if you have done some of these shows, please do let us know. You're not going to get lost because the park, again, it's really open and clear, but it's very, very well signposted with regards to what is where and how you can get around everything. And I do believe this is another little sort of drop tower ride that they've added in. Again, you can see the big building behind, which we will have a look at in a second. And I just really like all the theming and all the greenery. I just think it's one of those that when you come at night, you don't actually see it because you're just mesmerised by the music and just sort of the atmosphere with regards to all the lighting and everything that they've added. Whereas I find it a very, very calm place to come during the day, but it is not the kind of atmosphere you would expect from a theme park, only because there's nobody there. So I can imagine what it is actually like during the day. But yeah, like I said, works perfect if you come at this time. So if you want a nice quiet trip to the theme parks in Dubai, and it's at a cost-effective price, get yourself down in February. You'll get on absolutely everything, no problem whatsoever during the day. And then you can have the evening just to walk around the Riverland and just sort of chill out and soak all of it in. So we will, in a second, as we're walking around all these fountains, and again eyeballing that massive wheel, which isn't moving at the moment, I do believe, is we'll have a quick look in, and you can just see how amazingly themed it is on the inside. It's only like a 5-second snippet, so it will be a blink and you miss, and then we'll carry on walking down the stairs, and then we'll move over to the left hand side and soak in that last little bit. So we are about to have a look at the inside of this building that I am bigging up for, like I said, all of about 5, maybe 10 seconds if you're lucky. And it is on a huge scale, the front of this, but this is now the inside. Bomb. There we go. Look at it. It's ridiculous how big that thing is on the inside, and it's just very, very beautiful. There was members of staff waiting at the desk, so I'm guessing that's where you would go in and get everything ready for the actual show. But now we're back out to the front, so the front is just enormous. So many people in the evening would get their photo taken there because it's so nicely lit. You would obviously just stand in the middle and you'd just do it for your social media account if you wanted to, or just make some memories with your family. So there's plenty of photo points within this. Now we are just gonna shoot down here. There is a bit that I didn't do, which is the Hall of Heroes. So that is another area that is on the map. That is just to the right hand side, and again where the big water fountain is, if you went right you would just walk straight through the Hall of Heroes, but there is a load of pay to play games there, loads and loads and loads of them, which is a little bit annoying. So if you come round the back you can get in without being asked loads of times to do a pay to play. But went into the Hall of Heroes and that wasn't open either. So like there's a shop in there where it sells the merchandise for the movie stars of the two rides, but neither of the two rides that are in there, which they were like almost like a big 4D cinema ride, they didn't open up to much later on in the afternoon either. So the main big rides, I would have guessed they're not really open until sort of 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But like I said, this is much more of an evening theme park because everything is staggered. So the Legoland will open up first, then an hour later Motion Gate opens up, then an hour later this will open up, and then again they close staggered. So you could come from, if you wanted to, the water park or Legoland in the evening and then spend an hour or two here until it closes. But again, it can be open till much later on, depending on the season. So you're not going to have a little lunch with you until 9, 10 o'clock at night because you're just going to get too tired. But it might be a perfect opportunity to get them in here during the day, just before you head back. Now there is plenty of hotels and everything about. You've got the main Legoland hotel, and I stayed at the Rove Hotel. But I do believe that if you stay further afield and closer into sort of Dubai itself, there is shuttle services from the other hotels that you can get to here. So you don't have to stay basically on the Dubai parks and resorts. I did, just because how easy it is to walk here from the hotel every single day. And then I found that my actual hotel did a bus shuttle to the expo that was running at the time that I was here, which I was very, very lucky to go. And the ticket was like £20 for the rest of the 2 months that it was running. So that was an absolute bargain. So there was a lot to see on that. So I filled up sort of 2 days doing that as well. Otherwise, I think I might have been twiddling my thumbs a little bit. I think because I had done everything by this point, and I'd gone on all the rides, and I'd gone around Legoland a few times, and I'd only done the water park once. I would imagine without the expo, I probably would have had 3 days spare, bearing in mind I was only here for 7 days. So just because of how quiet it was. So wherever you book your hotel, is always worth checking where else you can get a free shuttle to, and then you can just start planning that as well, in case you're thinking you're going to come here for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden you think, actually I don't need to come back because I've done everything. What else can I do? So it's always worth to prep and prepare. But to get the most money's worth out of it, I got the multi-park hop pass because it allowed me to go to every single entrance of the park anytime I wanted to. So I could just go from park to park to park to park to park. Bearing in mind, if you are only going to come down here for the day, I think you can buy a ticket that allows you to go into 2 parks. But when you come out of the one park and go to the other, that is it. So you've got like a double entry and no more. That potentially might be a better option coming out of season if you are only coming down here for a day visit, or you're just staying, for example, overnight at the Rove Hotel. You could just do that and see all 4 parks and then skedaddle back home. But guys, I'm going to start to wrap it up here because I'm just waffling just to fill a little bit of time. So if you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that would be absolutely fantastic. The area that we are in now, all of this is new, I do believe, for 2022. So there is 1, 2, 3. This will be ride number 4. The big Ferris Wheel is ride number 5. So all of this is new for the 2022 season. So if you have seen this at night and fully going, and you've experienced it for yourself, please do let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think it's a good addition to the park? And can you see them expanding any more behind that fence to the left-hand side? Because there is a huge amount of open land there, just desert land, which they could expand into. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You guys take care, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Ta-da.